All right, so welcome those who have seen the other 3 videos in our series on Krashen's theory of second language acquisition. If you're here for that, this is now the 4th hypothesis, comprehensible input. If you're just someone who's looking to learn a second language and you've heard this term, comprehensible input, this has kind of become all the rage in language learning over the past, couple decades, I would say. Welcome. What we're going to do is explain what is comprehensible input. And then after that, we're going to see how can we use comprehensible input in our language learning journey. So right here, I have just the basic math formula that almost everyone who studied Krashen knows by now. It's I plus 1. So the idea behind comprehensible input is, first things first, there's 4 domains of language, 2 of which are input, 2 of which are output. So the output are speaking and writing, the input are listening and reading. And the idea behind comprehensible input is if we can understand what level we're at and then go one level above and just focus on input at that one level above, it will then move us up to that level and then go a level above that, boom, boom, and kind of moves in that sequential order. And the mathematical equation that Krashen has created is I plus 1, so input plus 1, right? If you're just at your baseline input, you're never going to improve. There's got to be something pushing you to that next level, which is why it's in I plus 1. Now, a very important note is you can go I plus 5, but you won't get to that level any faster. Krashen would argue actually slower. So if I need to get to the 5th floor, I have to pass through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th to get to the 5th. I can't just start reading material at a university level and expect myself to understand it. So that's the general idea with comprehensible input, that you find readings that are one step above the level of reading that you're at in your second language, and you find audio input. Could be movies with subtitles, could be podcasts, could be music, right? Whatever input you feel most comfortable with, you use at the level right above where you're at to then push you to that next level. Okay? How do we use this? Well, people online are going to claim that this is the golden ticket to language learning, and to an extent, I do agree. It's impossible to learn something new if you're not being pushed into that next level of whatever you're trying to learn, and language learning is no different. So if you have the capacity to find your baseline and then gradually work yourself up. Now that's the important part, is gradually work yourself up. There's no reason why comprehensible input isn't something that you can use to up your second language acquisition. So, if you're reading, you just started learning Spanish, maybe you start reading books for kids, right, that really don't dive too deep into many verb tenses, but you just get the basics down. Then when you have the basics down, you move on to kindergarten books, elementary school books, middle school, high school, etc., right? And for audio input, it could be something like watching a TV show in Spanish, but slowed down with subtitles. And then you speed it up a little bit to its normal, and there's no subtitles, and there's no subtitles, right? You need to figure out kind of where your baseline is as to where you're most comfortable, and then go one step above that in order for comprehensible input to be useful for you in your language learning journey. So this one, again, is the most popular of all of Krashen's theories, I would argue. It has taken over the language learning internet by storm, and there's good reason for it. Comprehensible input is, in fact, needed to learn a language. So that is the 4th hypothesis in his second language learning acquisition theory. Come on by for the 5th one, and let's round this thing out.